Hey everyone, Spellman here with a much more personal video this time, not telling you where to start your out shots or talking about recaps of events or talking about what I like in the dart world, what I don't like in the dart world, which has some relevance to, yes, an upcoming video with the soft tip stuff, which should have been out by now. However, my wife surprised me with 2 full days of painting at my sister-in-law's, so that will be coming out at some point. But right now, I want to focus on me and my relationship with all of you. So, this is the video that announces my Patreon launching. I've talked about it in a couple other videos, and the things that I want to do in the community, there's not a whole lot of financing behind it. Yes, I have sponsors and things, but that's more focused on the actual playing side of things. But when I'm not playing, I have days I need to fill to pay my bills. So, what I'm looking at is more basically a community sponsorship from all of you, whether it be $1, $5, $10, $20, whatever it may be, some contribution a month. Basically, something similar to like a Wikipedia, a PBS, where there's no gatekeeping, there's no paywall between my content and the people receiving it. It's just simply those that have the means and are able to support me so that I can support the community at large. That's what I'm looking to do. I don't want to, make cool videos, whether they're educational, funny, fun, whatever. I don't want to hide those to only the people that are supporting me. I want it to go to everybody. Now, before I get too deep into the talk on what I'm looking to do, I want to slide over to the About section on that Patreon. Read through it real quick so you at least have a general level of what I'm looking to do, and then I'll touch on some of the specifics. So, tried to zoom in on this a little bit so you guys can read along if you want to mute me because you don't like my voice or whatever. But to start off, my name is Alex Spellman, and I'm a professional dart player and coach, as well as a player advocate, and in many ways, a concierge that helps players with a variety of items ranging from travel, leagues, general advice, and much more. After a few years of competitive play at the highest level in North America, I have found my biggest passion has not come from winning, but instead from helping the broader community. I've come to Patreon because the only way for me to pursue my passion for helping others in the game of darts is with the support of the community. Just as YouTubers and other entertainers make their living by making content that is funded by the community that follows them, it seems this is currently the only way for me to do the same. I'm not looking for a handout or free money. Anyone that has taken the time to chat with me knows I try to always give my full attention, and I will go out of my way to help where I can. I want to work for and earn my keep. The traditional avenues of pulling income by charging for autographs, running raffles, among other things, is not of much interest to me. I want to sign everything for free. I want to be as available as I can financially afford to be. And while I still have raffles, only those supporting my Patreon will actually get those for free. I want everyone to think of this venture as something akin to Wikipedia or PBS, where everything I will do and provide will be available to everyone. There will be no paywall blocking content. The idea of this Patreon is that for those that are able and willing to contribute, a monthly donation will allow me to focus on some of the following. Free coaching to youth players, on-site coaching clinics at events, event partnerships with up-and-coming players versus other elite players, player advocacy, like being a council member on various boards and pushing for improvements for and within the community. Player concierge, so assist with budget traveling, planning for events, tour information, and more. Content creation, both fun and educational. Increased practice, general interaction with all players. And the one selfish item that I have on the list, which is increased attendance by my wife. I'm sure I'm sure there is more I can add to that list. I genuinely appreciate any support I receive, and if you have anyone that could benefit from any of the above, please share with them my love for the game and community. What I plan to do may not benefit you directly, but it will allow for others to get those benefits. So, if I want to talk through some of these things to kind of show you where I'm coming from, and again, this is kind of the condensed version, but you can get the full detail here of what I'm thinking and what I want to do. So when I talk about like being a player concierge, I've had players that were going over to Modus that contacted me looking for information about the travel portion, the food portion, the hotel portion, like when I found out, and Jason kind of let this slip a little bit, when Jason and I got invited to come over to Modus, um, I was more excited about him going over for the first time. I mean, the first thing I did was reach out. I told him, hey, let me know when you're going. I'll help you out with the trains. I'll help you out with where to stay. Like, I was more excited about that than me being able to go over there and play, you know. But I love doing that stuff. One of the local players, he wanted to go to both the Toronto Open and the Toronto CDC, but wasn't financially viable. But I told him if he had just talked to me, I made both trips the same cost as one of his trips because maybe I didn't fly into Toronto for $500 something. I flew into Buffalo or Detroit usually for less than $100 sometimes, but no more than maybe 150. Whether you rent a car or maybe if someone just happens to be driving through, you kick them a couple bucks. You can find ways to lessen that travel. Travel tips as far as tips, as in like what do I do with my tips when I travel and all that kind of stuff. I've been around enough to kind of know how to budget, how to get around that kind of thing. And the thing is that if I don't know, I will find out for you. And what happens is you get the information you're seeking, but then you give me information that I can pass on to other people as they need it. Um, so when I talk about uh, I always go out of my way to do this kind of stuff. Even with my coaching, anyone that's worked with me, they can tell you that we almost always go well over the time that they've paid for. I genuinely care about trying to help them, and I just get lost in conversation and trying to give them as much information as as they can possibly get. Um, I've told many people for years, the winning and losing isn't what matters to me. It's kind of the journey. I've tried to give some good examples recently, or I say good example. I've tried to give some examples recently where I'm like, it's if you've ever been gem mining before, you get the big bucket of dirt and rocks, and you don't know what you're going to find in there. It's the process of digging through that is incredibly. It's the potential find that is fun for me. Once you're done and you got all the rocks laid out, you're like, okay, cool. All right, let's go home. Like it's not the result that matters to me. It's the journey, the battle. If I'm busting ass and I lose, I'm fine with that. Like that was fun. That struggle was fun. If I overcome it, even better. But it's still the journey to get there. Um, so the involvement that I have with other players and my I I don't want to play with, no offense to these guys, a Gates and a Maloney and a Jason Brandon and a Stowe Bunce, because we show up to an event and we win. Well, duh, we were supposed to. And if we don't win, it's, well, what happened? Uh, Look, I need money, so that's why I do it, because this is my job. But with more consistent income, I can now start looking at going back to what I used to do, which was playing with more of that up and coming mid-tier player, without trying to sound like I'm trying to lessen them. But for example, I played with Nick McKinnon at Ghost on the Coast. I'd already won, not to brag, already won all the other events. So I had already had a successful weekend. We're in the finals of the men's doubles 01. And he's got 3 darts to hit 40 to win the title. And if he doesn't, the other team has a chance to win it. And he missed. But it was good for me. Like, I really enjoyed having him in that situation where he might have been a little bit more nervous and tight, and building that experience. I much prefer that over, like I said, just running through the field. Even locally, like, if Robbie Phillips and I were to get drawn in a blind draw, like, okay, cool, I guess it's guaranteed money tonight. Not all the time, but for the most part, guaranteed money. But that's not fun for anybody. Uh, what I'd rather do is get the person that doesn't win very often. Maybe they never win, and it gives me a personal challenge of, I'm trying to get them to the final, or I'm trying to get them as far along as I can possibly get. And you might see me kind of frustrated or something like that, because it's, I care. I'm actually like motivated. It's more of a positive frustration. Whereas like if Gates and I are playing together and we're both kind of sucking, that's more of kind of a negative frustration. Like, ah, damn, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes you get stuck in a rut of like, I missed. It's okay. Gates is going to pick me up, and then he misses, and he's like, all right, that's fine. Spellman's going to pick me up, and next thing you know, you lose because you just never quite had that same drive and motivation and focus and all that stuff. Doesn't happen all the time, but it happens. But anyway, um, when I talk about, pulling income by charging for autographs and running raffles, obviously the raffles, I love doing those. Um, but those were a big boost in income for me. But I don't want that to be my primary source of income. I had somebody over in Europe telling me that I need to slow down on what I sign because obviously scarcity makes the price go up. But I don't want to make my money off of that. I want to. I'll sign a billion things if for every person that wants something from me, uh, I'm gonna give it to them. Like even selling the signed jerseys on the Flight Faction website, we only charge the extra shipping to get it to me first, and then uh, to the person. That's it. That I don't charge anything extra. I don't care about that. I don't want that to be where my money comes from. So I'm looking to have my money come. I don't know if organically is the word. I just want to be available. If I'm a big deal to you, that means a lot to me, and I'm not gonna charge you for a picture. I'm not gonna charge you for an autograph, anything like that. I'm not going to do it ever. So, um, when I mentioned on here that the Patreon subscribers will get stuff for me for free. What I mean is obviously you're subscribing to the Patreon, so you're paying money for that. What I just mean is that you don't have to pay anything extra. If you're contributing $1 a month, well, you get a free entry. If you're contributing $5 a month, you get 5 entries. So it'll kind of scale just like any of my raffles do. Um, in fact, the first raffle, and I wasn't going to bring this up, so I'm not prepared. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to cut over to me real quick. So, like the first raffle, I have 3 of these. I'm not giving them all away each month, but for the first 3 months of my Patreon, uh, the prize, I don't know if I'm going to do multiple prize. I haven't figured that part out, but there's going to be at least an item every single month from all my sponsors, whether they contribute or not. I'm not going to force them to, just keep giving me stuff to give away. Whether I have to pay for it or not, I don't mind. This is just my way of thanking you that support me directly by doing this. But at the meet and greet, I had some of my jerseys signed. The only person that hasn't signed it yet is me. I want to thank Jonathan Gambino for actually taking these because obviously I was back behind the desk working. So I really appreciate him going to do this for me. But if you'll see, you might be able to make out some of the signatures here, but off the top of my head, I believe it's Keegan Brown, Adam Sevada, Jason Watt, Michael Van Gerwen, Russ Bray, Joey Lynaugh, and it's going to be myself. And if there's somebody else that I'm forgetting, well, I apologize to that person that took their time to sign it. But I think that was everybody. But I have 3 of those. I have one of my black and reds. I have one of my pinks, and then I have one of the black and whites here, the one I just showed you. So those are going to be one jersey for each month. But you don't have to pay anything extra. In fact, I don't think I'm going to take anything extra. It's just what you contribute is your entry every month. So if you're used to getting in my raffles anyway, you might as well just hop in here. And like I said, maybe one month, maybe it's just the jersey. Maybe another month it's, maybe it's a jersey plus some entries into maybe the Booyah Cup or whatever it may be. I don't know yet. We're kind of going to do that on the fly. But nothing extra, and these are exclusive to my subscribers and only my subscribers. Maybe once a year I'll do a more public one, but otherwise you guys get the full benefit of that. Let's see, when I talk about that Wikipedia PBS funding, like I said, I don't want to pay. I don't want to block anything off. I want to help people, but there's 2 things that help me here. One, obviously, it's publicly funded by the people that support me. If I'm doing a good job, if I'm taking care of you guys, I feel like I'm more likely to earn that support. If I'm not doing a good job, you guys will start unsubscribing, and that'll be my cue that I need to do better. But the other thing too is there is that thought as you're coming up with these things where I don't have the same high following as some of the other media companies, even here in North America. So you come up with ideas on, I want to do something. For example, whether this was actually related or not, I don't care. Just as an example of me not caring about this happening, I just want to be able to put content out to help people and not. I don't care about making the money off of my content. So, for example, when I made the fun video about the Winmore dock and how you could even make the little foam surround, and then what, a month later, 2 months later, a dart company comes out with a little travel thing that is a little board and an actual surround. Uh, but you just start thinking like, okay, I want to put this content out. I want to put stuff out, and it's tough because you don't want to talk about it too much to competitors and things like that. You just, if the money is going to come from the content, I have to be careful about what I'm putting out and who I'm talking to. And I don't want to worry about that. I just want to put out bluntly fun shit, educational stuff. I don't want to worry about, man, I need to, try to get this idea out there before someone else uses it or what. And I'm not saying they're stealing it. If I put out something cool and people enjoy it, I fully expect other people to put out similar content. Like, why wouldn't they? I want them to. Uh, I don't know if you guys remember back when I was writing all those novels on Facebook and everybody made fun of me, but now you see them all over the place. That's great because now instead of you just saying, "Oh, I had a great time this weekend," okay, bye. I got to actually hear about what you did, how you did. Uh, you took the time to talk about other players that maybe you played, you beat, you lost, whatever, people that put on the events. It's all great. That's the kind of influence I want to have on the game. I don't want to, again, I don't want to make my money off of putting this stuff out here. I want to get my money from the support of the community because they appreciate what I'm doing. And I hope that you guys understand what I mean by that. So when I talk about coming back over here, let me do this so you can kind of see my face a little bit. When I talk about the free coaching, uh, that's going to be kind of on a as available basis, because obviously if I'm gone on the weekends, I still have to prioritize other things. However, again, if I'm not going to as many tournaments or if I'm not playing in certain leagues or things that I don't need to be in, I can fill that time with, well, doing other things like coaching people, and this particularly the youth. I have at least one person, Maddox Williams, that I've been working with for free already uh, to kind of help him out, and he's already made a lot of great progress. I don't know if I know right before he aged out, or at least I don't follow the youth rules about like how old, because I know like some of the PDC stuff and it's you're older than 18, whatever. But in that short period of time that I worked with Maddox, if you guys remember him, he kind of had like a little rock, like a jut in his throw. He removed that, and at one point he was the number one, WDF player, and I don't know if I can't remember if it was just the U.S. or if it was North America as a whole. But point is that made me feel really good about him, obviously, because I didn't put in the work. He put in the work. He's the one that made changes, but it just still made me feel really good that information was very valuable to him. So when I say free coaching to the youth players, whether it's kind of some one-on-one sessions virtually, maybe it's when I talk about going to these events and playing with up and coming players, sometimes it may also mean that maybe I just don't play the mixed triples in the morning. Maybe they have a youth event going on, and they have enough youth players where I go in there, and maybe there's like a set time to have like a little you know Anubis Academy thing for just the youth players, and no charge. I just I'm gonna hate getting up that early. That's the only thing I hate about youth adult is, man, sometimes we play so late and they got to get up so early. But I still do it because it's important to me because it's important to them. But doing those youth clinics or maybe the one-on-ones, you know, and trying to expand my horizons as a coach. Uh, when I talk about again the event partnerships and things, um, I might have already touched on it. Sorry, sometimes I ramble. But like I said, it. I don't necessarily want to blow through the field. That's not fun for me. Again, it's the journey that is fun for me. So playing with like let's say like a Danny Young, obviously plays at a really high level, but doesn't really travel a lot. Maybe getting some more match experience with somebody like him and Ethan Devira, and even those are still kind of on the higher end of what I'm looking for. I'm talking about that. Maybe you're only mid to low. You're in the 70 range, maybe. That's good enough to be pretty solid. We're still going to win some events, especially if I do my job. But it's just much more rewarding and fun for me to play and win with those guys than the elites, because of course we're supposed to win. Um, When I talk about player advocacy, I do this a lot with the CDC board. I try not to put a whole lot of emotion behind. I might sound like I'm emotional, like I have a lot of frustration or whatever positivity behind stuff, but I still try to make everything have a very logical approach so that even if you disagree with what I want to do, you at least understand where I'm coming from and why I want to do it. Um, there's some changes that I pushed really heavily and both introduced and pushed with the CDC, and those changes were made, and I feel like we've seen a lot of success. I introduced and pushed the idea of the affiliate list, kind of similar to what they do over in the Pro Tour, where they have Challenge Tour players join the Pro Tour if they don't have a full field, and I could be mistaken. Maybe other people can tell me I'm wrong, but I feel like this last event in Toronto was by far uh, the largest field we've had in Canada, at least post COVID. And so many of these players, they might only get that one chance to come play as part of that affiliate tour, but they absolutely love it. They're getting that experience. That's what I did my first year of the CDC. A lot of you don't know. I played the very first year of the CDC, and I won some events. I actually had some matches in the 80s. I remember I beat Lobby with like an 86, which at the time that was pretty goddamn good. Uh, but then I immediately lost to, I think it was Gordon Dixon. I shot like a 66.5 or 60. Actually, I think it was a 66.6. But anyway, how do I remember that? I don't know. But I was there, but I was there not to lose, but to learn. I wasn't there to win. I wasn't there to lose. I was there to learn. I was there to gauge where I was at, all that kind of stuff. But I want that for all these other players. The DPFL stuff, obviously, I was kind of involved in kind of getting that kick started. Gave them some advice on things, and I didn't get paid. I didn't get any kickback from any of this stuff. I'm just doing it because I'm part of the community. So if I can improve any situation, whether I'm playing in it or not, we get more people involved, and it just will, well, it'll grow. Uh, so when I talk about the content creation, another reason I kind of held off on uh, pushing this out for a month or two is because I wanted to put some sample stuff out there to kind of give you an idea of what I'm looking to do. So whether it's the outshots and visualizing that, I'm going to have some other series coming after that. I've got some little tips and tricks, things to do with like if you punch your flights, just all that kind of stuff. But then also the fun stuff like the elbow trick shot I did with the 6 bulls, or I actually have another variation of that shot coming in the next couple days. I saw Devin Peterson doing the elbow shot, so it inspired me to remake it a little bit. So, but doing that kind of stuff, I have, obviously the views speak for themselves. Almost 2 million views since January. People messaging me on the side, and ask Bobby Pulaski if he watches this video. He can attest. He literally just asked me a simple question, and I literally sent him a novel of information because I didn't want him to have incomplete information. This is a passion for me. I love helping and teaching people anything I can. It doesn't even have to be darts. It could be anything. You need help with anything, I got you. When I talk about increased practice and general interaction with all players, I have so many people that ask me for practice. I actually have paid practice as part of my coaching, but I will practice with you for free. That paid practice is just guaranteed time. If you're paying me for my time, I will make sure I make that time. But I usually have to fill that time with the wife, fixing things around the house, mowing, coaching, whatever it may be. I got to fill the time somehow. So I can't. I barely get time for my own practice, to be honest. But what it does is it can free up some of that excess time where I'm squeezing in events just so I can squeeze out $30 out of maybe a DPFL blind draw or something like that. And I would rather be filling that time helping and practicing with players for no cost to them, other than the support I'm getting through the Patreon. And then of course, and when I say general interaction with all the players, that kind of comes in with how I was talking about. Maybe I skip mixed triples and I spend some time with the youth players. I don't want to leave the adult players out too. I have just as many of them, actually more, that are looking to just chat, get some minor advice, maybe throw some practice games. Absolutely love that. For example, it's escaping. The name is escaping me, and I apologize. But when we unexpectedly went to Cleveland uh, after the chairman of the board stuff, there was a kid there from Alaska. He didn't expect to meet me. He was aware of who I was. Said he watches me a lot, and asked me, could we please play a game? We didn't just play a game. I played like 2 or 3 best of 11s with him because I had the time to. The next morning, we just happened to be warming up next to each other, so I asked if he wanted to play. I knew that it meant a lot to him, and that means it means a lot to me, and I'm going to give you that attention if I'm able. So again, having that more consistent income stream uh, frees me up to, well, free up some of my time, and I don't have to play again like a mixed triples, or I can skip little things. Maybe I skip the blind draw, but I stay and I hang around, and I just make myself available for whatever. And then, of course, like I said, the one selfish reason, uh, and I save this for last because if I'm bluntly honest, this is something that's very important to me, and that's the attendance of my wife. My wife is such an amazing person. Anybody that's ever met her well, you can tell her, but they will tell you that she's just a great person. But she helps me a lot. I don't eat during the day. I don't drink during the day. She's the one that's going to keep me healthy. Um, but the thing is that because this is my primary source of income, I have to be very careful about uh, my expenses and traveling and all that stuff. Well, let's say that my flight was $150. That's not too bad. Well, we're gone. We're going to be gone for 4 days. Maybe that's just the way that the tournament lays out. So, $150 for her flight. It's going to be $60 a day for our dogs. So that's $240 right there for 4 days. So 240 plus the 150 is $390. I'm just going to round it up to 400 and make the mental math easy. We're going to have to park at the hotel. We could take it, park at the hotel. We could park at the airport. We're about 30-ish minutes away. The Uber ends up being a little bit more expensive than just parking there for the overnight parking. I'm not going to bother people at 4 or 5 in the morning. So like Jessica and I are going to go to Florida on Thursday at 6 a.m. I'm not going to get one of our friends, and none of them really live that close to us. They're all about 20 minutes, 30 minutes away themselves. So that's almost more than an hour round trip for them. So it's $400 just for the dog sitting and her flight plus uh, the overnight. I don't recall what it is. Let's just say it's $20. So that's another uh, $80 right there just for the parking. So I'm looking at minimum $500 to take her on just about any trip. If I'm already spending $800 to get there, now I add on $500 from her. I'm at $1,300 before throwing a dart. I have to win enough of these events to cover that $1,300 just to break even, and then I still need to make another minimum to make the trip really worth it. $600 to $1,500. I'll just say $500 to $1,500 minimum on that weekend. So I'm looking at, I need to make $3,000 pretty much every weekend, anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000 every weekend to make that trip worth it. And so every trip she doesn't come, that's $500 I'm saving. That's a little bit less pressure. Not that I feel pressure to make the money, because every time I walk to the line, whether there's money or not, I'm treating it the same. I'm still gonna bust my ass to do that. But just saying, it just makes it easier to come ahead. But this just allows me to bring her on more of these things. But like I said here, there's probably more I could be adding to this list of things I want to do. These are just the things that kind of came to mind. To kind of give you an idea of like just the membership tiers, I actually thought about doing like a couple $100 like unlimited coaching tier, but I don't want to do that. I just want to try to be as available as I possibly can, and I think I have a nice balance of, I'm cheaper than what you're going to get overseas. I feel like I'm significantly more in depth than probably what you're going to get overseas. Again, my path, or I'm trying to think of the word. My style of coaching is going to be a lot different as well. But, like I said, talk to just about anybody, and I think you'll see that there's a lot there that this really does mean a lot to me, which is why I'm pushing, as uncomfortable as this whole thing is making me right now, similar to when I first started coaching and people are paying me to just talk to them, and I don't know if I'm going to help them because my style is more about long-term growth, not immediate growth, it really stressed me out. But seeing the success of many of the players that I've worked with has been, uh, it really eases that stress and anxiety that I have doing this kind of stuff. So whether this is successful or not, it's still stressful to me. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. It just shifts how I'm going to be approaching things going forward. Um, but anyway, so there's going to be two options, more or less, to support me. There's going to be if you don't want to do a subscription, maybe you just want to do support me more directly through like a Patreon, or not Patreon, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, things like that. Those are available. Those are options. I have a sponsor that sponsors me individually on a monthly basis through Venmo. That is an option. But here I just have, and I apologize for the lame naming schemes, but it's going to look like this. So we have the Anything Helps tier, which is just $1 a month. I didn't know what else to name it, so I kept to that. I have the Spellman tier at $5 a month, Jackal tier at $10 a month, and the Anubis tier at $20 a month. Initially, oops, wrong one. You got to see me from over there. Initially, I had this like support the Jackal. Then I had support the Jackal a little more. And then it was like support the Jackal a little more, or like, I don't know, just stupid names. So I just went with this for now. But anyway, it's just a starting. There's whether it's a handful of you or thousands of you, I don't know. I have just under 9,000 followers, and the vast majority of the people that watch my stuff are not people that even follow me. But so I'm somehow still pulling in 1.8 million views since January 1st with only 9,000 followers, which again is just mind-boggling. But even if I have a fraction of you contribute even $1 a month, that helps a lot. And there is a point where if I have enough community support, like almost too much that I don't know what to do with, I'm going to do the thing where I get uncomfortable about it, like I did with my raffles, and I just start tossing in more benefits. And maybe some of that is I kick back some of that money into the community. I mean, I don't know what that amount is going to be yet, but I'm not expecting to get rich off of this. I'm just trying to make a living. I don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars, So anyway, we're a half hour into this. If you've stayed this long, I sincerely appreciate it. If there was any video that I wanted you to watch just to kind of see what I'm looking to do going forward, this is the one. Again, I don't know what else to say. Here it is. This is what I'm trying to do. If you have any questions, please message me. If you want to work with me in any other capacity outside of this, please let me know. And we can figure something out. But anyway, I look forward to continuing to put my content out regardless of all this. I've got more of the outshots. Again, I know you guys want me to kind of talk about some of the lower outs as well as some of the higher outs, that 136 all the way up through the low 300s. I will have that out, I don't know if I'll do it every single day like I'm currently doing with the 101 through the 135, but I'll still have it coming out. I got, like I said, some fun stuff. If you catch me at events, I'm going to have the Meta Ray bands. These are what I did the first person view shots on and things like that. Come catch me at a tournament. We can, I'll put you in some of my videos. But anyway, I appreciate it. Like I said, whether this is a success or not, it's not going to change what I'm doing. It just allows me to focus my attention there, where my true passion lies in the game of darts and just in the game of life. So thanks everybody, and I'll see you on the board soon.